What's up, guys? Welcome back to Let's Play Zoids vs. One! Alright, so after the previous video, I failed to demonstrate the D-Bison against the Death Stinger. I couldn't remember the name of it for a second there, because that would have been disastrous. So I'm going to switch over to the D-Bison now and try to demonstrate it. I'm playing as a different character now. I can't remember his name for the life of me. I think it's, oh, it's Albane. There we go. I want to make sure I didn't botch it up there. So this mission we're going to be attempting here with the D-Bison is a simple chasing mission against what appears to be a Liger. I think it's a Blade Liger. We're going to be just chasing it down and destroying it. And I'm not sure. I'm really curious as to what the story implications are here, because we're fighting Zoids that we're normally associate with our forces, the Blue Unicorn forces. So it's interesting that we're fighting against them on the Republic campaign when we should be fighting enemy Zoids. Although the Empire does have Liger Zeros in this continuity at least. I'm just not sure what's going on here where we had to chase down this Blade Liger. Maybe it was stolen or something. It's interesting to think about. Yeah, the D-Bison, not great in this game, just because, again, the controls are broken. The long-range pulse rifle, or the twin pulsar rifle on the back, is pretty effective, the same one that's on the Genosaur. And just being able to equip another big weapon like that on top is pretty cool, all things considered, and makes the D-Bison look even bulkier than it already is. We're going to quickly save, and then we're going to use it again. That's my first save this entire campaign so far. We're 2 videos in, and I'm just now making a save file. Anyway, so the homing projectiles of the D-Bison's main artillery cannons are pretty effective, but not as effective as they are in Zoids vs. 3, where homing projectiles receive a significant buff anyway. Also, those 2 little cannons you see on the back towards his tail don't do anything. The other weapons are an underbarrel shock cannon and missile launchers, which again we're not really going to use. We're mainly just going to stick to the pulse cannon and the artillery cannons. Boosters are pretty effective on this. They definitely get up and go. Yeah, D-Bison is one of my favorite Zoids, and I've been meaning to use it more in these games, but I just haven't had the good opportunity to do so. So this is kind of fun being able to really show it off like this. Even though I'm sure I've shown it off in passing here and there in the previous 2 games, this is where it really kind of comes to the forefront. So we're going after a couple Lightning Sykes here actually, which is more like of our proper opponent here, and they give us the Shadow Fox again, just like they did in Zoids vs. 2 and Battle Legends. Of course, this time we already have better weapons for the Shadow Fox, and we have other Zoids we can use, such as the Blade Liger already, so they're not crippling us. But honestly, that kind of draws attention to, even though I was so critical of the Shadow Fox back in the day, it draws attention to the balancing of Battle Legends campaign, where they gave you powerful Zoids so gradually, especially if you received help from the allies and didn't refuse their help, and you wouldn't get obscenely broken Zoids right away. So you were forced to use that Shadow Fox with poor weapons. So I think that was a really nice touch. Something we don't really get to see with Versus 3. Or even this game, where they give us the long range, they give us the dual sniper rifle right off the bat, and that pretty much breaks the game right there. So no need in using anything else. Of course, I'm going to use everything else just for the sake of demonstration. But I always have a lot of fun Let's Playing these games, and actually Let's Playing this game takes me all the way back to 2011 when I first did this Zoids Battle Legends Let's Play on a whim, just completely random. And didn't expect it to really go anywhere. I thought it was very much outside of the genres of the other games I was playing, because I was a lot younger, I wasn't working, I was able to play games casually a lot more, and test play, let's plays all the way through in a single day if I wanted to, and do multiple uploads in a day with no problem, because I had no big responsibilities. And I distinctly remember when me and my first girlfriend were dating, going up to her house and playing this game, and also playing Quake 2, Quake 4, Rage, and Metroid Prime 2 while just waiting for her to get home from work. So I have a lot of fond memories with this trilogy. I'm happy that they resonated so much with the audience as well. So I think since the previous Let's Play, I do have a D-Bison model kit now. Finally, it's the Hasbro one that I got at that Super Happy Fun sale at AWA in 2016. Yeah, in 2016. So it came fully built, but it did have the box and everything with it, and I did a video on it if you guys want to see that. There's a, I believe I made a model kit playlist and everything. Speaking of which, let's bring in the Shadow Fox. I also have a video, or I have a model kit for the Shadow Fox. I have the Kotobukiya HMM Shadow Fox, which I have built. I just haven't done a video for it yet. That will be coming pretty soon, hopefully. I kind of want to do the Lightning Sykes one first. So really important here, I'm going to be using the Shadow Fox, but I'm going to make sure the boosters are equipped, because that would have been a disaster had I just left that alone. But also, a couple different weapons we can use for this that are effective. So obviously I did not use that mini Gatling gun that it comes with normally, because that thing is very ineffective. But I did equip the beam launcher briefly there. For a Republic Zoid, the Shadow Fox's array of weapons that it has available to equip are very much more in line with an Imperial Zoid. It's very similar to like what the Red Horn would have, including the beam launcher, which is pretty good, and the beam Gatling unit. This is specifically the beam Gatling unit C, which is actually pretty effective. So you're going to see me use a rapid fire weapon for a change here, which is very unique to the Zoids versus games. I usually don't use rapid fire weapons like this. So in this mission, we're going to be taking out a couple of Command Wolves and I think a Lightning Sykes as well. But I'm going to be taking advantage of the beam Gatling unit. It has the it fires the Blade Liger. That's not good. That could have been a lot of health right there. You can see how much my health bar declined there from the lack of invulnerability frames. Figure if the camera is going to betray us and we're just going to have to spray and pray, we might as well pick a weapon with a lot of ammo that can cover a wide area. And you can see there's actually different projectiles within the... that's another Shadow Fox. So a Command Wolf, Shadow Fox, and a Blade Liger. And again, I don't know why we're fighting Zoids that should be our allies there. But yeah, the beam Gatling unit C, it fires from the rotating Gatling gun, and there's also a couple of other cannons on the side that are similar to the setup you would see on a Red Horn or Dark Horn, and those all fire simultaneously. You can see the difference in the projectiles as they travel. You can tell, one is coming from the cannons on the side, and you can kind of see how it looks right there. That big cannon and the twin barrel black AB cannon that's on there as well. So it looks like right here we have to take on the Genobreaker and some, some Saber Tigers. So that shouldn't be too difficult now that we have the Koenig Wolf, the most OP Zoid in the series. Well, not really. He's actually pretty bog standard, frankly. Like, I love the Koenig Wolf to death, but there's really not a whole lot that makes it great aside from it's great, but it's not gimmicky. Like, it's not gimmicky like the Dark Spiner or even like the Berserk Fury, Genobreaker, those kind of things. So I'm surprised the game put it in the spotlight like this, like it did. See in the opening scene, it's fighting the Liger Zero X and the Dark Spiner, and you're like, oh wow, the Koenig Wolf must be really cool. But there's no gimmick when it comes to the Koenig Wolf. It's just a very good Zoid overall, and I really like that they did that, because Koenig Wolf is one of my favorite, mainly for that reason, because you could see it as a super elite Republic Zoid that is, kind of refrained from the best of the best, and maybe it does have, long-range sniper capabilities, but it's also a heavy armor Zoid. I like the idea that it can go up to bat with the Liger Zero and things like that, but is kind of an not very well known Zoid and things like that. Well, that was pathetically easy, and again, that's one of the reasons why I'm going to try not to use the dual sniper rifle too much, because even in this game, especially in this game, I should say, it is absurdly overpowered, just because the enemy Zoids can't take a whole lot of damage. So we saw those two Saber Tigers, unfortunately, were just running into the wall, and the Genobreaker tried to make its way over to us, but the time it took to get over here, we were already... Omae wa mou shindaru. Alright, so This mission is really interesting, so I quickly want to show off over here. There's a couple of cannons over here, which are very similar to the base cannons we see in the later games. Of course, these are not destructible, so I don't know what the deal is with that. There's also a couple of Saber Tigers and an Iron Kong in this mission, and they are very, very tough. They have like 9,000 health or something like that. They have a lot of health, and we frankly do not have enough ammo in our powerful weapons to deal with them. So I initially switched over to the Blade Liger to try to just abuse the blades to take them out, but it's really not even practical to do that. I actually have a failed attempt where I get killed by the Iron Kong just because I can't deal enough damage to them quickly enough to avoid dying. So, and the reason being is I couldn't remember what the objective was for this mission. The objective is actually not to kill those enemy Zoids. They actually make those enemy Zoids as impractical to kill as possible, so that you will not be able to do it. What we're supposed to do is find a secret Imperial crate that is stashed within this fort somewhere. So we're searching around, and I'll know it when I see it, but I don't think the other things here are destructible. These other crates, these towers, not destructible, but it's a unique crate with the emblem on it. It's much smaller. Oh, there it is. Yes, that's what we're looking for. I don't think we have to actually destroy it, we just have to find it, and then we get the mission completed status, so that's pretty easy, right? Looks like we run into some of the enemy characters there, like Max, Cookie, and Reiner, and Claudia. So we ran into the opposing team there. After this battle, we actually get a new Zoid. We get the Gojulus the Ogre, which you guys should be familiar with, because it is the Gojulus the Ogre. Oh, cool! We get to see the twin stars there, the red sun and the moon in the sky, which is a staple of the Zoid series. So a little bit of lore regarding that. I'll come back to the Gojulus the Ogre in a second, but a little bit of lore in terms of the twin moons or whatever. The original Zoids battle story and the Marvel comics from the 80s, or the late 80s, early 90s, the Marvel UK comics actually talked about the origins of Zoids and how, you know, they were essentially sentient, and some of them were one of a kind. Like Redhorn was the leader of the evil Red Zoids, the corrupted Red Zoids, and obviously he was sentient, he was one of a kind, and they all had android pilots, so they didn't have humans or things like that. So you could actually infer that, you know, they all came from that red moon, and you know, that's how Zoids eventually inhabited the planet Z, and they were, you know, eventually domesticated over time by whatever means humans use to take control of them. So wild Zoids are a thing in the Zoids lore, but I would low-key love to see how they could tie in things like the 80s Marvel comics and Genesis and the other anime series all together in one big timeline, because I think that would just be badass. But anyway, the Gojulus the Ogre has the distinction of being the largest Kotobukiya HMM ever made. It is absolutely huge. And if you guys saw the Anime Expo video that I did, we saw one in Little Tokyo that was over $500, and we saw another one at the con that was like $360, which is still a lot. I will probably never be building that. I will go ahead and say that. But I did buy that. What do you call it? Saber, the Great Saber. I bought that while I was out there, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to de-equip the dual sniper rifle from the Command Wolf and equip that to our new Liger Zero we got. So Liger Zero can be equipped with a lot of different weapons. It's pretty much useless without a good weapon, frankly, even though, you know, as the anime would not lead you to believe. But we're going to go ahead and equip the dual sniper rifle on it. I may continue to use the Liger Zero. I may not. I mean, there's no reason to use the Liger Zero when we have the Koenig Wolf, but they're both pretty good. Let me know what you guys think, if you think one is better than the other, and within the context of the game. I get that the Liger Zero has customizational compatibility and things like that, but That doesn't really apply in the game when the Liger Zero's alternate versions are in a completely separate Zoid. Yeah, let's go ahead and take out this. We have a Blade Liger right here we should be able to take out pretty quickly. I think this Blade Liger, it belongs to Max on the enemy team. That says his Blade Liger, if I understand that correctly. And over here we have, oh dear, we have the Liger Zero's nemesis, the Berserk Fury. Which, the Berserk Fury, even though it has only one projectile weapon, that projectile weapon homes in really accurately. But worse still, the Berserk Fury has one of the most dangerous melee attacks in the game, and it can hit you from a ridiculous reach. So that was a pretty clutch dodge I did just there to evade that. But we'll see a lot more of the Berserk Fury as the game goes on, trust me.